Humanity expanded across the galaxy and found it to be lifeless. Desiring companionship, Earth species were uplifted to sentience and scattered across the heavens. It's been millennia since mankind vanished, but the canines still remember, still search, for those they once called master. I run with the hunted. This is what it means to live now. Fight to live, live to eat to fight again. The days had the same circular rhythm to it, the rhythm of the hunter. We are wild things now, wandering in packs, scavenging the lands to cure a hunger deeper than food. In the old days, we did not have words. The pack elders tell me this in voices ancient as the moon. Once, we were reduced to sounds and snorts and howls. But now we can speak to one another and understand. We can carry the old stories. We hold the memory of their scent. And in the old stories, we were loved. I stand on an outcropping overlooking a dead city. Once, I know from the stories my elders feed me like rabbit legs, we had our own masters. Those huge metal beetles called houses once held more than dust and enemy packs. They held people, warmth, food, endless and constant as the affection, scruffing your ears. Not all the masters were kind, but enough were. I seek the old ones now. We all do, in our own ways. The old bearing of the world hovers over us in the skeletons of the cities the old masters abandoned. But we are the hunted, and whatever I don't kill will certainly kill me. I've learned that now. Perhaps I think sometimes, in the darkest and hungriest days, it would be better to have them back, to never have lived like this at all. I long for a home I have never known. The flat black dawn glitters with dying stars. I tilt my head back to watch them, flick my tail. My pack is just settling down to sleep in the mouth of the cave behind me. We must hide when the daylight comes. There are hungrier dogs than us out there, and we won't test their appetite. It is my turn to stand guard. I stand with my ears swiveling in all directions, listening to the night fall asleep. Morning is coming. The sun will hold us once again. My packmate Kusa will trade positions with me when the sun is high in the sky, and I will get a few fitless hours of sleep before we rise again with the moon. But the sky does not look right. A ripple tears across it, bright and zippering. I watch, entranced. It is no work of animal or earth. It screams across the sky, a jet of white fire trailing to the ground. And I watch it land and burst. For a moment, I go rigid and hackled, stare at the wreckage. I look back at my pack. They are already settled down to sleep within. The cave hums with the snores and dream yips of a dozen wild dogs. I creep through them. I find Kusa by the bent wire of his smell, there in the dark. I nudge his side with my snout. He looks at me fiercely, but stops himself from yelping in surprise when he sees the burning in my eyes. What? I must go. Go where? To where the fire burns. My tail flicks expectantly. There is something there, something alive. Kusa sees when he follows me out of the cave. He stands there, blinking sleepily, but he does not argue. I can read his fear in the hackles at his shoulders. This is madness, he growls. To go over there is to bring death to us all. I stare back out, back at the fire, smoldering on the horizon, and I know I cannot live with my curiosity burning just as hotly. If anyone dies, it will only be me, I murmur. Only me. Just a lost leaf in the wind. The sun wouldn't blink if I never returned. I wonder if my pack would. If you leave, he spits back, you are choosing to never return. I hesitate, staring back out at the promise on the horizon. I know the old stories. The old masters disappeared from the stars, and they will return from the stars once more. We are the hunted, and we have learned not to pick fights unless we know we will win. But the wreckage smolders down there. It tinges the air with hot ash. I lope across the desert toward it. I run and run, rocks tearing into my paw pads, my breath coming in raggedy bursts. The sun creeps higher and higher, casting the world in pale orange light. And then, there it is, rising up before me. The fire gouged deep ruts into the ground as it landed, spinning and tumbling. But as I get closer, I realize it is not living fire at all. It is another metal hunk, like a giant blackened can. Someone leans against it. The figure is almost animal, huge, two-legged. It wears a pale jumpsuit that crinkles like a plastic sheet. It turns toward me, and its voice rises in surprise. I can't understand a word of it, but it raises its hands. I skitter back, tail between my legs, whining and growling. The creature keeps making the same sound over and over again. Easy, easy. It drops down to its knees and peels off its glove to reveal a single bare hand. I dart my stare to the creature's face. It is the color of the earth, but its snout is short and strange. It shows its teeth, but it's not a threat. It's an invitation. Something like warmth spreads through my fur. I creep closer, belly low to the earth. My muscles spring, ready to pounce away or forward the second it attacked. Flee or fight. My only two settings anymore. But the creature doesn't move. It's easy, Brighton. Easy, it says. I press my snout to its fingers and inhale. It is an old smell, an ancient smell. It is a smell of copper and plastic and blood and sweat. It is the smell of fear and hope and trust. It's the smell of our old masters. The smell of home. The creature keeps smiling and smiling. Easy. It smooths its palm tentatively along the space behind my ears. The touch is jolting and warm and impossibly soothing. It seems I've gotten lost. Maybe, it says, in a voice full of warmth, you can keep me a little company for a while. I can't understand what it means, but I understand the timbre of its voice, the gentle promise of that touch. I lean into my master's side, and I am the hunted no more.